Amy Madigan, welcome to Turner Classic Movies.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We are all thrilled to see you. It's such an exciting time for you. You have found yourself smack dab in the middle of the award season for your performance in the movie Weapons, which is one of my favorite movies of last year. So congratulations on everything that's been going on.
Thank you. Yes, Gladys has taken on a life of her own, but it's a tad overwhelming at times, but I'm just so proud of her, and I'm proud of the movie, so it's pretty nice.
What I love about the timing of all of this is that exactly 40 years ago, you received your first ever Academy Award nomination for a terrific film that we're going to start off with tonight.
Oh, I'm so glad.
From 1985, it's Twice in a Lifetime, directed by Bud Yorkin,
yes,
and with a cast that is mind-boggling.
I know,
Gene
truly.
Hackman, Ellen Burstyn, Anne Margaret, Ali Sheedy, Stephen Lang,
yes,
yourself.
I know it. It's just kind of amazing. Daryl Larson, who was a young actor who was coming up then.
Yep.
So many good people in it.
When you think back to this time in your career, so you had done Places in the Heart, you had done Streets of Fire, you had done some interesting television work. What was it like for you to get this part in this movie with this group of performers?
I remember meeting Bud Yorkin very vividly in his office, and I just kind of came in, and I really liked the script a lot, and I knew that this character Sonny was a very powerful presence, and it's about a family breaking up, and so there was a universality to it. But I knew Bud Yorkin through all the work that he's done on his television work, that he was a little more behind the scenes than, let's say, Mr. Lear was, and I knew that he would handle it well. So, you know, to be with Gene and Anne Margaret and Ellen, I was like, wow. And then Dennehy, because I'd seen him do theater stuff. So it was a great gift.
So yeah, as you mentioned, this movie is about a family. Gene Hackman and Ellen Burstyn are married. Gene Hackman starts an affair with a woman that he's met, played by Anne Margaret, and much to the consternation of his adult children, particularly your character. Her name might be Sunny, but she is not.
Right.
And she's the one who takes it the hardest of everyone in the family. How would you describe what you remember as being what was going on with her at the time?
Yeah, just my own work, working on that film, I was so zeroed in on this character in the script. And I thought, I don't want to pull any punches with this, because everybody is a different personality in the family. And there's always one that is a tad more explosive and feels they have to be the mouthpiece for all the injustices. So I took that mantle on very willingly. And I had a really good time doing it, but I remember doing it, I was so zeroed in. It was kind of that line of like, is this real or is it not real? Which was fantastic from actor point of view. I thought I would be intimidated when I first met the people. Of course I was. But after we started working, those guys are all pros. And they knew what my point of being was as this family member. So, you know, they were welcoming to it, you know.
Before we watch the movie, for people who are seeing it for the first time, there's one scene in particular that stands out to me amongst all the powerful work that you deliver in this, and it's a confrontation scene in this bar where your father, Gene Hackman, hangs out a lot. And it's really where Sonny lets him have it and really tells everyone how she's feeling about this and pleads her case, if you will.
Yes.
What do you remember about that? Because that must have felt like an important scene, centerpiece scene for you and the character.
Oh, absolutely. And prior to that, you see her in different times of the days getting more and more kind of upset and worked up. And she has this idea, I'm just going to go in here and just tell everybody what's going on and tell her to leave. Well, clearly that is not what happens. No. And I came in really strong. And I know that that made a couple of people kind of rear back, you know, and it's like, nobody's in jeopardy here. You know, I'm a physical performer, I'm a live performer, so I just kind of went for it. And Anne Margaret, as it would turn out, really vibed in with me. And then they had to do the coverage on her, which took a couple of days, and she asked me if I would be with her and come back and really do the scene with her when it was her coverage, so the camera was turning on her. And I said, yeah, I'd be glad to. And she was very thankful for it, and that's what you should be able to do.
It's a great scene and a terrific performance, and it earned you your first Oscar nomination. So let's watch the movie, and then we'll talk more about it afterwards.
Okay.
Here is Amy Madigan from 1985 in Twice in a Lifetime. I'm back with Amy Madigan to talk a little bit more about her Oscar-nominated performance in Twice in a Lifetime. I love the scene at the strip club. I love all the faces that you make as you're watching all these male strippers dancing all around you. You're just kind of like, what is going on?
Absolutely.
That must have been fun to shoot.
It was. And the guys who were the dancers were so buff, and they were really having a blast. So we had all the extras, and it's like, okay, now you really enjoy this. The extras had no problem whatsoever enjoying this. So the guys really had a good time. So did we.
Yeah. Do you remember what it felt like for you? So you had a Golden Globe nomination first, as did Gene Hackman, by the way.
Yes.
And then the Academy Award nominations came out, and you were nominated for this performance. Now that you're going through this whole process again with Weapons, do you remember what it was like to go through it 40 years ago for this movie?
This is so markedly different how award season works now. So when I was coming up and when they had that, it wasn't like all these people were saying, gee, we want to talk to Amy and we would like to do an interview and can we do this and will she come on a podcast? That didn't exist. So I was kind of very excited. I wasn't expecting it at all. I didn't have, a stylist. I had to go to the store and buy a dress. And it just kind of happened in a very natural way. This award season is very overwhelming and there's so much to do. I mean, I'm very proud of my work and happy for it, but it's a lot. And that was not the case 40 years ago.
Right. Oh, it's
Right.
it's become a much longer season now.
Yes, it is.
It's like a political campaign now.
I know it. You know that. You're
yeah.
interviewing people all the time.
For sure. I went back and watched the clip. So it was Angelica Houston who won that category that
Right.
year for Prizzi's Honor. But there you are sitting next to your wonderful husband, Ed Harris, and you look great. You look fantastic, and you're just happy to be there. You're also nominated in the same category as Oprah Winfrey for The Color Purple.
That's right.
I think that was the year that Cher went.
Cher, yes.
And she wasn't nominated that year, but it was the year she came out in that Bob Mackie
And she looked fab, didn't
crazy
she?
look.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Did you remember having a good time at least that night?
Yes, I did, because it was just all so new and so exciting, and you just like anybody else, you go, oh look, there's that person. I mean, I'm a good fan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fun.
So is it interesting for you to think back to this period in your life? I mean, it's just so satisfying that it's exactly 40 years ago, and now here you are back again in a similar moment. Do you like the coincidence of that?
Yeah, it's a lot to think of how long your career is, and you hope it's going to extend. When you go up, when you go down, you can really go down. And so it's nice in another way, because I've had a lot of work from then till now in a variety of ways, had a lot of down periods. So, and that's what a career is. So I get to reflect on kind of the longevity and what that means to me personally and my acting life. Yeah.
Well, I have questions for you about the performance in Weapons, so if you'll stick around with me, we'll show another movie and talk about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay with us, because coming up next, Amy and I will return to talk about a classic film from 1962 starring Bette Davis and Joan Crawford that inspired her work in Weapons. Don't go anywhere. All right, Amy, what a great ending to Baby Jane on the beach, and just such a powerful performance by both of the lead
I mean,
actresses.
Joan Crawford is magnificent in it.
Yes.
Not an easy part at all.
No.
Miss Bette Davis, her part is much fuller and it's moving forward, and she has to, Joan Crawford has to react, and she's quite good in it.
How often would you say you're able to, when you're working on a current performance, whether it's television or film, to use a classic character or classic performance as a direct inspiration? Do you try to do that whenever you can, or is it really only in certain special circumstances like Gladys in Weapons?
I'm a real movie buff, and I've seen a lot during different periods of our industry. So I think they're just all inside of you, and you kind of pull something. I didn't base my performance on Baby Jane, but it's something that just seeped into me, and I remember it, and I remember the look and the beauty of it, and her physicality and things like that. I remember all the movies that I've seen, most of them. My memory's really good doing that. So, especially the black and white ones, because I grew up with my brother, and we just watched everything. We just did, and we loved it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I know it was important to you not to have Gladys be a typical villain and to have lots of different facets and shadings to her. And what I love about the performance is that she's funny at times, but also quite evil at times. I can imagine that must have been a fascinating dichotomy to play.
Really fun to play. And I really always go back to what has been given to me on the script. And Zach Kreger wrote this, and it's a really tight, wonderful script. So I really pinpointed, when does she really just level down and tell you what it is? And when does she kind of, because she doesn't go out in public that often, and when she does go out in public, you know, you would notice her. You know, she's not hanging out at Starbucks or anything like that. So Zach gave me a really good note, though. He said, think sometimes of Gladys that when she has to go out in public, she's observed people and she watches them. And so she's almost imitating how you're supposed to be when you're in public, how to be pleasant, how to be nice. And underneath that is, I got to get what I want.
Yeah.
So that was a really good note for me.
What do you think it is about characters like Betty Davis in Baby Jane or Gladys in Weapons and all of the ones that came between, these kind of macabre characters that people seem so fascinated by?
Well, I think for women in particular, and especially in that period of time, let's say for an earlier film, women have been overlooked and they're full of rage. So, not to put too fine a point on that, but I think it taps into something very primal for women when they'll see someone take charge and they'll see someone kind of snap. Now, obviously, when it's taken to an nth degree and ultra-violence is there, I'm not condoning that, but I think that there is a communication cord that exists that way. And don't you like to see somebody behaving badly?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when it's you doing it and it's Aunt Gladys in this movie, Weapons, because it is something to behold.
Oh.
I encourage everyone to see it on HBO Max, and don't read anything about it before you see it. Just watch it. Amy, what a thrill to be with you at such an exciting time in your life and career. Thank you for being here all night.
Oh, yeah, I had a really good time, and I love TCM, and I know all the people out there, they're loyal, and they love TCM.
And we love them for that, and we love you for it, too. So thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, stick around because I'm turning it over to Eddie Muller for this week's edition of Noir Alley. Don't go anywhere.